in the city of Lagos, Nigeria, Africa, and a wonderful opportunity to be with me an unbelievable moment with Ibrozano Adams. As you all know, it's a magazine program which encapsulates sport, music, and fashion and world view. And straight into the news, let's tell you that South African billionaire Patrice Motsepe has been appointed as CAF president. The Mamelodi Sundowns owner, who is Africa's 9th richest person, replaced Ahmad of Madagascar, who is currently serving a reduced ban for financial misconduct. Motsepe was elected a continent's football boss at CAF's General Assembly, which took place in Rabat, Morocco, today, Friday. The 59-year-old billionaire becomes the first Anglophone president in the 64-year history of CAF. He will be assisted by Augustin Senghor of Senegal, first vice president, Amadi Yaya of Libya, second vice president, and Djibouti's Souleymane Waberi, third vice president. Also part of Motsepe's assistants are Fawzi Lekja of Morocco, fourth vice president, and FF president Amadou Pinnick is his fifth vice president. A paradigm shift from what has been operational in the schemes of things at Confederation of African Football. And as we move forward, let's still tell you that the president of Nigerian Football Federation, Mr. Amadou Mervyn Pinnick, has been elected as a member of the FIFA Council, the highest decision-making body of world football. Following his growing influence in continental and global football politics, Amadou was initially touted to run for the presidency of CAF, but opted to run for the FIFA membership position, while backing South African Patrice Motsepe to become the next president of CAF. Earlier today, Football Federation of Kenya President Nick Mwendwa pulled out of FIFA Council elections, leaving just two contestants in the race. Mwendwa's withdrawal comes 2 days after one of the biggest contenders, Andrew Kamanga of Zambia, pulled out of the race to give hope to the president of Nigerian Football Federation, Amadou Pinnick, who has now won the election. Good one for a man who has gone through a lot of criticism and has led it through the crucible, and now is one of the most powerful figures in African football, and he has now stepped it up to FIFA Executive Council in Zurich. From there, we'll move to England, where former Three Lions of England head coach Glenn Hoddle has explained the importance of Josh Maja and other new arrivals at Fulham. Maja joined Fulham on loan from French Ligue 1 club Bordeaux and has scored 2 goals in 7 Premier League appearances. And Hoddle admits he's been won over by Fulham manager Scott Parker's work in the transfer market, with his additions all making a positive impact on their survival deals. He said, I think Parker's recruitment in January was good. Josh Maja coming here has given another little option. The England coach to the 1998 FIFA World Cup in France said on his show. Good one from Josh Maja, and let's see how he does when he's invited to the Nigerian national team. They say the more the merrier. We'll have a lot of young stars out there, and they are doing pretty well. Josh Maja has also been contributing his own quota by giving Fulham that self-belief. And from there, we'll take you to boxing, where current World Boxing Federation, WBF International Super Featherweight Champion Rilwan Oyekola has revealed how government attacked his car a few hours after receiving 10 million naira check from Oyo State Governor Makinde. Record that Oyekola defeated Argentine Lucas Montesino at Ilaji Sports Resort, Ibadan, in December 2020, and he was decorated as the World Boxing Federation International Super Featherweight Champion. Narrating his story to reporters, he said he received the mouth-watering cash on March 4th from the governor, only to be attacked by unknown gunmen a few hours later. He said, as we left the government secretariat, the venue of the check presentation, I wanted to drop a friend that accompanied me to the event at Mokola. I just saw a vehicle and he accosted us along the way, and the 2 men were pointing guns at us to stop. The boxing champ narrator said, I was shocked and swerved the car to escape, but then fell into a ditch. The assailant drove off after noticing that the car had fallen off the road, he added. Not a good development, but thank God no life was lost, and he is still there doing the nation proud. He's one of our heroes. And from there, we'll take you to Formula One, where Fernando Alonso will undergo surgery after the 2021 Formula One season to remove 2 titanium plates from his jaw after a cycling accident last month. The Spaniard was hit by a car in a supermarket car park as he prepared for his return to Formula One after 2 seasons away. He had corrective surgery on his upper jaw in Switzerland in February, delayed his training, but speaking at pre-season testing in Bahrain, Alonso said he expects no impact on his driving this year. I don't expect any issues. Honestly, I've been training, Alonso said. He said, I think 3 weeks or 2 weeks, absolutely normal. I've been in the simulator as well. The preparations were not too affected too much. I missed only a couple of marketing days and filming days, which I was happy in a way. I'm 100% on a personal side. Obviously, 2 titanium plates that I have from the upper jaw will be removed. I think at the end of the season, after the championship finished. But as I said, they will not affect my professional life. Thank God for everything, and thank God he's not one of the people who've gone the other way, because if you remember Michael Schumacher, today he's still undergoing a lot of treatment and he has not remained himself. And from there we take it to football, where one man, some call him the loudmouth, some say he's the special one, some say he's the only one. What's his name? They call him Jose Mourinho. Tottenham manager expects Harry Kane to be fit to face Arsenal on Sunday in the North London derby after he had ice applied to his knee following a knock in Thursday's Europa League win over Dynamo Zagreb. Kane, 27, scored both as Spurs won 2-0 in the first leg of the last 16 ties. And Mourinho is optimistic Kane will be fit for the North London derby. He said, I hope so. I believe so. It is a big match. Only big problems stop him to be there. Let's see the reaction tomorrow, but I am sure he will be fine. Mourinho agreed with Dynamo Zagreb's managers following assessments of Kane, highlighting his intelligence. Some strikers score lots of goals, and that is the most important thing in football for a striker, which he does. But he said, apart from that, he understands every tip we give him. In terms of his positioning, movement, he understands the game very well. He feels the spaces. He looks around to see where other players are, and he can affect the game. He's really a good player. They are now 7th in the Premier League, 5 points behind 4th place Chelsea with a game in hand. Arsenal are 10th. Winning the Europa League would be another route into next season's Champions League. The 58-year-old Portuguese boss will have light one extra goal against Dynamo to give his side a bigger cushion. And still in the Europa, let's take you to Old Trafford, where Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will stick by goalkeeper Dean Henderson despite his costly error in the Europa League draw against AC Milan. Solskjaer confirmed that David De Gea has returned to Manchester following his paternity leave in Madrid, but is unlikely to be available to face West Ham on Sunday after self-isolating this week. That means Henderson will continue in goal after being told you have a run of games in De Gea's absence. The England international was criticized for allowing Simon Ayer's injury time header to beat him as Milan snatched a 1-1 draw in Thursday's first leg game at Old Trafford. Solskjaer admitted after it was a save he would have expected Henderson to make, but played down the prospect of De Gea making an early return, having yet to resume training at Carrington. Like I said earlier, there's competition, stiff one there between De Gea and Henderson. A lot of English people see Henderson as the future goalkeeper for Manchester United. De Gea has always been there. He's a loyal servant. He's been there for 10 years. But let's see how he does pan out. And from there, we'll take you to Old Emirates, where Arsenal did greatly yesterday in a country that you all know, one of the earliest countries when it talk about marathon, talking about Greece, where Martin Odegaard voiced his delight after scoring his first goal for Arsenal in the 3-1 victory against Olympiacos on Thursday night. The Norwegian midfielder on loan from Real Madrid lashing a 25-yard thunderbolt to open the scoring in the 34th minute in the first leg of the last 16 Europa League tie. Afterward, Odegaard insisted he has felt at home since the first day of his loan spell at the Emirates Stadium. It was a big win for us. It's a great result, he said. 3 goals away from home, and a win in this competition is always big. The way we strike back after the goal we concede, and the mentality in this team is great. So I am happy with everything. It shows the spirit in the team and the way we have backed each other. And from there, we take you to another part of England where the Football Association have issued an apology after Birmingham City goalkeeper Anna Hampton was reduced to flood of tears, had been informed she wouldn't make the squad just before kickoff in a Women's Super League game. The 20-year-old was informed of the decision 90 minutes ahead of Birmingham's clash at home to Everton. This is the female side actually, which they lost by 4 goals to nil. Hampton went on to make 3 errors that led to goals, and speaking post-match, Birmingham manager Calla Ward was damning of the FA's timing as they had to console her just before an important match. And Hampton has made 3 errors, like you said tonight, and she will not be part of the Olympics. But what got the coach angry and the lady in tears is because they informed her ahead of a crucial match and she conceded goals where she made a lot of errors, 3 major ones. And from there, we take you to the home of the Blade. That's talking about Sheffield United, where Chris Wilder is locked in talks about his impending departure from Sheffield United and is expected to be gone by the end of today. Tensions between Wilder and the club's owner, Abdullah bin Musa bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, have reached a point of no return. Wilder would almost certainly leave by the summer and can now disclose that the manager's deteriorating relationship with his boyhood club has got so bad this season. He and the club first had talks over his departure back in January. At that stage, both parties stepped back from the bridge. However, the relationship between Wilder and the club board has only got worse since then. Indeed, the League Managers Association have been aware that they were about to be asked to mediate for weeks. Wilder and the club expect to come to a mutual consent agreement for his exit. A compensation package was agreed on Thursday night, with details being finalized on Friday, that is today morning. Wilder, who had led the club to the Premier League from League One and almost qualified for Europe last summer, was last week still clinging onto the hope last week that he could stay beyond the summer. From there, we take you to Southwest London, the home of the billionaires, the Blues. For all the excellent work Thomas Tuchel has done in his first 6 weeks as Chelsea boss, he's still unbeaten after 11 games. The case of Christian Pulisic has left many onlookers somewhat puzzled. When Frank Lampard was sacked at the end of January, the obvious assumption was it would release the shackles on Pulisic since his £58 million move in the summer of 2019. Yet, if anything, those shackles have tightened. The American is yet to start a Premier League game under Tuchel. Mason Mount, Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, Callum Hudson-Odoi and Hakim Ziyech have all had a go in an attacking position, but not Pulisic. It is a curious scenario, given Tuchel was the one who promoted Pulisic to first-team football at the age of 17, inviting him to mid-season training before picking in the Bundesliga in January 2016. A swift progression as the teenage star followed, along with 55 appearances under Tuchel as Pulisic learned the ropes of top-flight German football. Perhaps quite bizarrely, it is that familiarity which has worked against the 22-year-old since the German arrived in West London. In fact, the Blues boss said as much this week following the 2-0 win against Everton. I can say nothing else but good things about him. Maybe his biggest problem is that I know him from Dortmund and I think he started only in the cup games. It is my responsibility and it is a bit unfair, but I know what impact he can have in the last 20 or 30 minutes of a game. Some people say over familiarity can be an issue, it can be a problem. Maybe that is what Pulisic is going through now. For someone who gave in his Bundesliga debut, and a lot of people feel this is the man who will make him the mainstay in the Chelsea team, but now it's different strokes for different folk and it's not working out the way a lot of people plan it to be. And from there we take you to San Siro, the home of AC Milan and Internazionale Milan, Inter Milan, where Romelu Lukaku is experiencing the best season of his career, and the Belgian believes it's down to a Mediterranean diet of salad, fish, chicken and pasta. The 27-year-old admitted to being out of shape and overweight while at Manchester United, but there have been no such concerns as he tries for Inter Milan. He revealed a nutritionist told him his digestive system has stopped working at Manchester United, but on arrival in Milan, he was presented with a diet plan of foods carefully selected for him by the medical staff. Lukaku has 18 goals in Serie A alone this season, helping fire Inter close to a first league title in a decade, and he has put his success down to his improved physique. The striker also feels that the diet which can see him eat 2 plates of gnocchi pasta on a match day has improved his endurance and made him faster. He says, since I joined Inter, I have changed my diet and I can say that I have never felt so strong. Lukaku said, my diet consists of salads for lunch, a lot of chicken breast, chirakati pasta. I don't change my ways of eating much. For how we play, we must have a very strong physique. We run a lot. Since I have followed this lifestyle, I feel better on the pitch. I feel more reactive and faster. And you can see a lot of issues. People are beginning to see a different Lukaku from the one who failed at Manchester United, and you wonder, is he still the same person now? The truth has come out that he has worked on his physique. While in England, he was overweight, a lot of weight issue here, but in Italy, he's fitter, and he watches what he eats now, and it has helped him a great deal. And from there, we bring you back to the city called Lagos, Nigeria, Africa, the most populous black nation on earth. Tell it anywhere. Tell them Ibrozano Adam says so. And this time we talk about the Lagos City Marathon, where the build-up is heating up ahead of the April 10 when it will tee up. Strong foreign elites and Nigerian elites are going to participate as it will serve as an Olympic qualifier. The last edition was held before the lockdown occasioned by COVID-19. And as it is right now, preparations are high. The foreign armada from Kenya, from Ethiopia, they like to come and cherry pick. I call it cherry pick. They pick the check and run away with the whole money, while our local ones, the elite here, watch them. But whichever way you look at it, it's also a great learning curve for them to do 1 or 2 things. You can be part of this program by placing your ad on the program. It's going places. The feedback mechanism is there on the screen for you there to take advantage of. The Twitter handle is there, the Instagram, the email, and then the phone number. Take advantage. Place your goods and services on this program. It's a trend. It's a new development, and you'll be better off for it. We'll take a break. When we come back, we teach a bit of fashion and music. Favorite son. No. I know the Patagon favorite son. I know the Africa favorite son. I know the Nigeria favorite son. But see me now, come on, man. Yeah, see me now. You went on me before, you don't feel know me again. I'm Jehovah favorite son. They call the answer with fire. That's my papa. Abba father. I want no one would tag it. I can't get your aringoton. Yeah, you tell my brother. Tell your sister. Today, not today. Make us celebrate. Nothing mistake. Papa God, I go general for Jehovah favorite son.
I'm your favorite son.
They call the answer with fire. That's my papa. Abba father. I want no one would tag it. I can't get your aringoton. The journey not easy. That's why I'm not lazy. If not lie, I talk, make I shut my phones. But if not true, I talk here, make my blessing. Favorite son. They call the answer with fire. That's my papa. I hope you enjoy that sizzling, beautiful music. They say charity begins at home, so that's one of my stuff. You get them all over the globe on most of the portals. So just be in touch. So it goes to show that you're going to be serenaded with music, fashion, sports, and what have you. And straight away, we take you to Europe because a lot have been said about the Europe fashion capitals and powers. And a lot of people talk about, when we talk about fashion, we talk about Paris in France and talk about Milan in Italy. The historical clash of Europe's fashion capitals from the Baroque period to the Victorian era. It's no secret that admiration for fashion has been deep rooted in European cultures for centuries. And no one can deny the fact that Paris and Milan are two of the most quintessential high fashion centers for the industry. But which city can boast bragging rights for hosting the most haute couture and up-to-date fashion trends? Throughout history, like I said earlier, France and Italy have competed to be the #1 fashion capital of Europe. But it wasn't until the first ever fashion week was created in New York in 1943, in the midst of World War II, that the two rivalry began. 20th century battle over beauty, haute couture versus alta moda. After the first fashion week debuted in the US, these age-old rivals fought to take first slice of international fame for their own renditions of fashion weeks. Paris beat Milan to the punch by creating its own very haute couture show in 1945. The term haute couture literally means high or elevated sewing, and it's one of the many English words borrowed from French. And today it means expensive, fashionable clothes. However, Milan actually crossed the fashion week finish line first by taking their alta moda, which is high fashion, to the very first Milan Fashion Week in 1958. Almost 2 decades later, Paris finally caught up with Milan in 1973. When they arranged their semi-annual Paris Fashion Week. Paris and Milan were extremely successful in their endeavors and created some of the most notable names. You look at it, there's always something that you get from them. These are proactive people, be it music, be it fashion, sports, and everything. They always have a beginning. When they were dilly-dally here and there, who should take the bragging rights? The Americans stole in and created the first awareness about how fashion can be, and they organized even at the heat of World War II. But as it is right now, you can't talk about fashion in Europe without mentioning Paris, France, and Milan, and what have you. It's a great one because I am a fashion aficionado too, because I love it, all the trend. I follow it like I follow music and sports and what have you. You're watching on your screen there, lovely fashion. Some of them are not your usual ones that you wear to places, but they're for special events. And if you watch some of the summer fashion shows in Paris and Milan, you understand how it is, like major shows, the runways and what have you. This is the much we can take on today's edition of your favorite and new juicy program. It's called Unbelievable Moments with Ibrozano Adams. You can watch us on the YouTube and many portals. And on behalf of my producer, who's done a yeoman's job to make this show a great one, I say hook up to us again next week for another brand new edition, sumptuous one. Like I said earlier, you always watch it over and over again when you get to my YouTube page. And send me messages. Let me know how you feel about the program. Once again, have a lovely day. I remain your host, Ibrozano Adams. I want to know what I get. I if not true, attack here. Make I celebrate here. If not true, attack here. Make I elevate here. Whether you like me or you not like me, that's one no matter. Cause my God here, I can't bear. Or touch it back my my favorite son. They call the answer with fire. That's my papa. Abba father. I wanna know what would I get. I can't get you. I ring on top. I ring on top. I ring on top. I know be Benue favorite son. know be Port Harcourt favorite song.
Oh, why you get me to
I know
get?
be Africa favorite song.
I want you on channel.
I know be Nigeria favorite song.
Can't change them more.
But see me now,
Come on, man.
see me now. You ain't know me before.